All right. All right. Shalom. 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 I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chorash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are my teachers, who do teach and rule well according to the scriptures, not wavering in doctrine. But shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, which the nation of Israel consists of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, wherever you may be scattered in the world, not according to appearance, but according to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is who the Lord made a covenant with, the first covenant, and the covenant to come, which say that new covenant to come will be the laws written within our inward parts, and us having dominion and authority through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua over the world and over the nations, so that we can govern in righteousness, because that's pretty much what this message is about. We're looking for a kingdom to come, as the scriptures say, that dwelleth in righteousness. And we know through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua prophecies that are going to unfold. So we understand that all of these things are going to be melted. All of these idols, all of these philosophies. America in its totality. The whole thing's going to be completely taken off. I can't say I got a tongue twister. You get it. America's out of here, man. Which is mystery Babylon in the scriptures. And if a prophet's not telling you who mystery Babylon is, who the beast is, what the mark of the beast is, who you are according to the scriptures, then that person is not a prophet. The things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, so we would have the understanding of everything that's going on right now in this very day. Because that's what the scriptures say. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. So we're witnessing prophecy take place, and it's speaking throughout the four corners of the world. And it started when the Lord woke up Abba Bivens, to the knowledge of him understanding he was an Israelite, and then furthering him to enter and go into the new covenant. I mean, not the new covenant, the New Testament, and tie all things together through the Spirit of power Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So now we're at that point now where as it says in Revelation, how after 3 days and a half, meaning 350 years, starting from 1619 to 1969, we would stand on our feet, and that's what you're witnessing happening now, but our message is strange to the world because we have those bywords and those proverbs that's been put on us by our oppressor, ultimately, so he can deceive those who the Lord doesn't want, but the Lord said he would leave a remnant in this time that if it were at all possible, they would be deceived. But those elect men, members, starting with the men, the 144,000 men, and then the believers, the multitude, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel who believes on Yahweh Shai, and won't waver and take the mark of the beast, and they just humbling down in these latter times. They understand that everything the Lord said is going to come, which that was a little bit of a lengthy opening, but that's in a nutshell, what our message is. It's a message of faith that we believe on the scriptures, and through a process of elimination, through a diligent search, and through the study of the things of the world. We've come to this. The Lord had us to come to this conclusion, and now we just proclaiming the message because we understand a reward comes along with it. But this lesson I'm gonna go into here, I'm gonna make it quick, man. It's pretty much just based on this statue that's been erected in the middle of Times Square. Where it's a heavy set black woman quote unquote black woman, which is one of those bywords and proverbs that's been put on us, but it's been erected in the middle of Times Square, and everybody's saying it kind of just stands out. It feels out of place, and that's right. And it's set there for a reason, to let you you boneheaded, as apostles would call them, hyenas, think that you still have status in this place, Hey, look what happened with the whole Kamala Harris when she was running for candidate. You black women, lost your shit. Bitches who ain't never voted a day in their life, you got bitches like Sexy Red. I can't say for sure, but yeah, man, that bitch ain't never fucking voted in her life, and just based on the what's it called, the feminism aspect of her not getting elected, just shows that these elections are rigged, because hey man, the number of women that was all for Kamala Harris, and not for Trump, it just shows that Esau be playing in your face, even with this statue of all women you could choose to empower and enlift, which hey man, you don't put no fucking woman on a pedestal, because the scriptures just tell us about it, they deal with her as the weaker vessel. We understand what's that, 1 Corinthians 11, the order structure of what the Lord had established between the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, men and women, and more or less on top of that, you shouldn't be erecting or putting up any kind of idols of anybody, But this is what Babylon does. This is the place of confusion, where anything and everything is okay, as long as it doesn't go against the disruption of them trying to establish their new world order, Which, hey man, we right there in that too. So hey, all of you women that get caught up in this and you thinking, oh, this country loves us, we got a statue in Times Square, hey, no, that's not the case. But hey, as I was saying, of all the statues that you can put up, you put a fat, overweight, Big Shirley, to show to be a representation of black women, Why not put like a modest woman with a dress on, standing in a somewhat kind of a glory, what they portray the so-called black woman here as is just trodden down, beat the fuck up, so much so that all she want to wear is some t-shirts and jeans. And look, and it ain't wrong at all. There's been a lot of AI, it's like cartoon action figures that show like the different attributes that go on with all of these Jake women here in Babylon the Great, and it's sad, but all of these action figures are true. It goes from the heavyset black woman to like a bag of Cheetos and a bonnet on her head to like the everyday I don't need no man. It's just at this point it's played out. Not to mention, as the scriptures say, how the grinding is ceasing. Everywhere I look, and everywhere if I get on the internet, you just, what do you see? You see women that are catching hell. I watched a damn near 30-minute video just about women and how they being laid off during this time of Donald Trump, who we believe through the Spirit as Nero reincarnated. Which it just all makes sense. Because he's just like how he was the one. Nero had a hatred for you Israelites, and Trump is showing the same thing. What did he do? He just passed a bill. What's the bill? 14288, which pretty much says that he wants to. I forget exactly how they termed it, but pretty much just add more to the police force. Give them more ammunition, and what neighborhoods are they sending them to? Trump said it himself. He said, "Hey, these blacks, they say they want more of a police presence in their neighborhood." You know, so you just imagine how Jake is just over Esau Edom and his bullshit, and now you got cops in a neighborhood patrolling, bothering you for every little thing. What do you think gonna happen? There's gonna be a lot more shootings caught right on a police cam, and what, it's gonna get swept under the rug like it always does, you know. And you got the situation now, or I forget the Jake's name, man. I've been following the story, you know, since it came about. But the Jake, you know, his kid, his son, was killed by a police officer, you know, and then what? He took it upon himself to render his own recompense, you know, which he was going off. But he fucked around and killed another police officer. He killed the police officer, you know. And what they doing with that? You know, they making it into like a spectacle, you know, to the point where what he had like Jake's, I guess, was setting up a GoFundMe for the cat, you know, so he can pay for his lawyer fees, you know, his or whatever fees he's got, you know, based on this situation, you know, just to help him along. And GoFundMe pretty much was like, nah, fuck that, we shutting this shit down, you know, because it just shows you that they not for you Israelites whatsoever, you know. And you got multiple situations where people have got GoFundMe for worse, you know. But hey, man, it just shows you, you know, just because you see you get a gift, as the scriptures say. Here, let's get that instead of rambling. How a gift destroys the heart, you know. And that's what happens with you Israelites. You get a little bit of peace here in Babylon the Great, you know. You get a increment of somebody gives a fuck about your nappy-headed ass, and what you do, you know. You bend over backwards, you know, and you let them do whatever to your family, you know. And you show no regard as long as those goodies keep coming. What is that? Damn, where did I say I was gonna go? Oh, gift destroys the heart. Yep. Yeah, this Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, this Ecclesiastes 7:7, it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And that's why, hey, man, that's why we in a predicament, and we have the sentiment towards Esau that we do. You know, we've realized that there's been heavy oppression against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, orchestrated, you know, and it constantly is pushed in our face to the point where we're like, yeah, god damn, this nigga is wicked, you know. But as the scriptures tell us, be ye angry, but sin not, you know. We still got to be subject to these higher powers, as you can read in Romans 13, because they're ordained by the Heavenly Father. You know, these situations that we're going through now are a part of our discipline that the Lord had to do based on us breaking that first covenant. You know, we're not well, yeah, you know. So when you see Jake in the bottoms of the bottoms and the ghettos, and they fucked up, you know, bitches is bald headed, tracks and eyelashes and flip flop sandals with fucked up feet, you know. Hey, that's because the Lord put your ass there, man. You know, there's a purpose to all of these things that we're going through. Just like as brothers and around me always say, you know, we just gotta trust the process, you know. Make the best of the process. And how do you make the best of the process? You know, giving reverence to who put you in the process, you know, and understanding and acknowledging that the reason why we're there, and go out and tell how to how to escape, the judgment is going to come. Because it's coming, man. You know? All of these things that are happening, these executive orders that are being pushed, you know, this is all a part of the plan. It's Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai's plan, but he's using Esau Edom to do it, you know? And that's why King David, what did he say? He said, deliver my soul from thy whipping stick, which is thy sword, if I'm saying that correctly. Roughly paraphrasing, you know? But that's a Esau Edom has been set up to be the whipping stick to you Israelites. And how does he do that? He does it in subtlety. You know, it's the same. This is the same match made in hell between the Israelite woman and the serpent that took place in the garden. You know, and he'll do smaller stupid shit, but it's still spit in your face and you go for it. You know. But anyway, it says, and a gift destroyeth the heart. And that's what you see have happened to many of Israelites, you know. They have fallen victim to Esau being that cunning hunter and know how to set a trap. And what? You go out there and you nibble on it and that trap catches you by the ankle and now you're stuck. Hey, look at these celebrities, you know. They trusted in these trinkets and these goodies that was falling from their master's table, to the point where, hey man, now they stuck, you know, they trapped, they just become a jesters and a motherfuckers that they just do whatever the elites will tell them to do, you know. That's why you see the leaders of our people, quote unquote, these entertainers, which is sad that a nation has to have entertainers for leaders, but you see them moving because they moving in the sense where they want to further Esau Edom's plan too. You know, you got Jay-Z and these niggas, they buy bunkers, they buy all these things because they know exactly what Esau's plan is. And they low down dirty niggas because they don't tell their own people what's about to come down, you know. But hey, they just like, hey, man, better you than me, you know. They got that spirit of Cain, you know. Which through the spirit is Esau Edom too, you know. They like, am I my brother's keeper? They don't give two shits. But it says, yeah, that was the point. Let's go back and watch this video. And I'm not gonna make it much longer.
A new statue in Times Square we're told, turning heads. It's making people not only stop and stare, but also reflect. A rare feat in the middle of one of the busiest places in the world. Zinnia Maldonado shows us why.
At 12 feet tall, in the middle of Times Square, stands a bronze sculpture of a young woman.
It's instantly stood out. It's powerful.
It's so tall and big.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? And you'll know a man by his gait.
The sculpture, created by artist Thomas Price, was unveiled at Duffy Square last week, and in just a matter of days, it has stopped hundreds in their tracks. Who is she? Well, technically, she's whoever you want her to be.
Me being a plus-size black woman, I kind of looking at it was like, oh, I wonder what me as a small child would have thought looking at something like that. Representation.
Look, they just smiling and kiki and ha-ha and yeah, it's a representation of me. What would little me think of this? Hey, and little you would probably be, I don't know. Anyway, you know, if this is what you look up to as a woman, you need to reevaluate yourself, you know. And for somebody to portray you as that as well, you know, which they not wrong, because a vast majority of you women, you Israelite women, all the tribes. your body type matches this completely. Not to mention, I think this statue has dreads.
The piece is part of a series called Grounded in the Stars, which Gene Cooney, director of Times Square Art, says confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation.
Yeah, he got the dreads in his head. Yeah, that's what he says. This is a representation. Representation of what? How battered and bruised you Israelite women are. Hey, but you love it there. You know, as long as you can have the illusion of power, and you don't care how bad somebody's treating you and doing you, you know?
To have this work here.
That's why it's up to the men. That's why it's always been up to the men to make these hard decisions and just decisions for you. You know, because women don't know how to properly make great decisions, man. You know, and don't get me wrong. There's a lot of women who's had to just learn from experience, you know, so they might be on point in certain things. But hey, these are just things that men watch for from a young age. We just watch. We watch for problems that could come about, and our mind is always meditating on solutions, you know, especially the hopeful elect, you know, and the Lord showed us the solution to all of these things, which is what Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua being that physician that cures a long disease. And what's the long disease? This earth being defiled under the inhabitants, which is the wicked, you know. This world in this present time has been given into the wicked. That's how even Satan, he was able to come up to Yahushua and kind of tempt him. Why? Because this is the time where a Satan is free to run rampant in the earth, especially on you Israelites. You know, Satan won't be fucking with us and tempting us in the kingdom like he does now. You know, and it's bad. It's to the point where I was watching Elder Apostle Tahar this morning. Hey, man, brothers to stay prayed up for brothers. You know, just speaking through the spirit. You know, because Satan's trying all of us. I know I'm getting tried. I know brothers around me are getting tried. But as I was saying, I was watching the Elder Apostle Tahar's video, and he said, man, he out of nowhere, in the middle of his sleep, he falls directly out of his bed, face first on his bed, fucks up his nose a little bit, kind of bruises his lip, you know, and he said he feels like Satan kind of pushed him out the bed. So, hey, man, the Lord is allowing Satan to kind of touch us right now, you know. But what? Through the sacrifice of Yahushua, you know, we've got victory, and we have the correct names on how to pray to the Heavenly Father and how to be delivered from the wiles of the devil, you know. But hey, man, these fiery trials are meant to build us up as well. But hey, man, it's the best thing you can do is pray for yourself that you don't lose this wisdom, you know, and that brothers are safe enough to continue to do this work, you know. And if shit get rough, hey, take it like a man, you know, get back up. You know, Apostle Tahar, he was like, man, it kind of fucked him up. He said, because he, you know, Elder Apostle Tahar, he's been around for a while. He's been a fighter, you know. And he said when he fell on his face, it felt like, he said that's the hardest he's ever been hit, to the point where he almost wanted to, like, you know what I'm saying, go to the doctor, make sure he ain't had no internal bleeding, things of that nature. So, hey, man, make it a habit, you know, which I'm sure sincere brothers do. But keep it a habit of constantly praying for brothers, you know, because it's hot in the kitchen, man, you know.
Here is making a statement, potentially asking questions about what we value as a city, as a society.
You know what? Fuck this shit. I don't even want to watch this shit, man. You know what? Yeah, the point's been made. I'm gonna end it off there by giving all praise. It was a scripture that was on my mind. It escaped me once I started talking about just praying for brothers. Yeah, we'll end it there, you know. Hey, once again, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushua, B'Hashem, Rakaha Kodash. And once again, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do teach and rule well, you know. Hey, even if they catch a bad one, you know, and they still willing to do the work, you know. Hey, there's a lot of men who don't have integrity, you know, in the face of affliction to continue to serve the Lord, you know. But hey, shalom to the elect out there. Shalom.